This video is sponsored by Recharge. This is the new Kia Niro EV, and in today's video, we're gonna find out how this car performs while taking it on a longer trip. Today's test is called the Norwegian high-speed run, and it's a route over 610 kilometers with an average speed of around 100 kilometers an hour, about 60 miles per hour. We're starting here at this Esso station right outside of Oslo. We're going south to the town of Kristiansand and then back again. And because this car has a WLTP rated range of 460 kilometers and our route is 610 at close to motorway speeds, we're going to have to stop and charge at least once, probably twice, maybe even 3 times. So how far will this car go on an actual charge? Where do we stop and charge? What type of charger do we choose? And once we connect, what kind of performance will we get out of the car when it comes to charging? And since it's also winter outside and cold, will we have issues with chargers not working? This is a Saturday. Will we, see a lot of cars on the road at chargers? Will there be queues? Is there enough capacity? All of those things are going to be explored in today's video. So we're just going to go to 100% charge here, and then we're going to start, and I'll see you guys on the road. We are now off Skir Mike, and we've just reached the end of this section of 4-lane motorway. On our way from here down to Kristiansand, we're a little less than halfway. There's going to be patches of 4-lane motorway and then 2-lane highways. As you guys can see here, they're actually constructing, or you're going to see in a second, they're actually constructing the next section, because this section is about 20 kilometers, and then after these 20 kilometers, there's 4-lane motorways. But okay, let's take a look at the average consumption and our numbers. 22.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. We covered 129.6 kilometers thus far, and we've also been on the road for an hour and 12 minutes. Look at the bottom left corner. You can see our range is 177 kilometers, and we just got a message on the screen because we're navigated to our turnaround point at the train station in Kristiansand. We're navigated to that, and now the car's giving us a warning that we're not going to be able to reach that destination because we don't have enough battery. But since we're hitting, this 2-lane section of road, we will have lower speeds. So I think we're going to be able to just about make it. If not, I think we're going to stop just before and charge at some chargers. So around 300 kilometers, but that is, in accordance with this consumption. So we're gonna have to stop and charge about halfway. And yeah, we do have a little bit of a tailwind from the northeast of 2 meters per second. But now that we've hit the coast and, from Oslo down to this point, we are heading due south. But now once we hit the coast here, as you can see here on the left side, we are now traveling southwest. So we should have a crosswind instead of that tailwind. But I still think, consumption is going to drop a little bit. So I think we're going to be able to make it the 175 kilometers to our turnaround point, charge somewhere in that area, and then, top up and be on our way. But I'll catch up with you guys once we get there, or if we, stop at the charging station first. But as you guys can see, there's not a lot of traffic today. It's a nice and calm Saturday to drive. So I don't think we're going to have any issues at all, in fact, with, queues or traffic at any charging stations. It's about 1.5 hours since my last update, and we are approaching Kristiansand, and we're about 17 kilometers away from a charger, which is about 8 kilometers outside of Kristiansand. That, according to the car, we should have enough battery to go to 16.9, and the car's estimating 16 kilometers of range. Shouldn't be too bad, but we just got turtle mode, and adaptive cruise control is not working anymore. So yeah, that is very, very interesting. And if we go into the menu here, we can see our battery percentage, which should be 6%. So I mean, we should in theory have enough, but we are limited in power and we're not allowed to use cruise control. No. That's so strange that you lose adaptive cruise control or cruise control at all. when the cars go into turtle mode. Or no, what? Was that just because of the warning? So it gives us a warning, and to get our attention, it turns off adaptive cruise control. But now I'm able to turn it on. So that is quite interesting. But okay, guys, back to here. This car should have, no, they were gonna go there. This car, according to page 15 in the owner's manual, this car has active preheating. Okay, that guy's going there, that's fine, just accelerate. This car should have active preheating. To what extent, I'm not sure, but if you navigate to a charger, there should be an indicator that this car is preheating. But for the love of God, we have now 5% battery left. But we have 15 kilometers of range left, and the car's indicating less than 15 to our destination. So we're gonna make it. I'm not afraid of that. But for the love of God, I could not find this charger. It's a recharge charger by an Esso station next to a Max Burger location, next to the IKEA in Kristiansand. It could not find the recharge chargers, and these, well, are a few months old now, but still, this navigation system should be able to be updated. And yeah, I couldn't even find the Esso station there. So no preheating because, well, if you can't navigate to a charger, there's no preheating because the car says that it's going to preheat if it's cold outside or if you navigate to a DC fast charger. Since we can't find a charger, we can't navigate to the charger. But in my motorway range test, after 2 hours on the road, the battery seemed to be warm enough that we did get, and now cruise control is not working. What's going on with this car? I've experienced some phantom braking with this car as well. This car and Teslas, but this is like by far the car other than the Tesla that has a lot of phantom braking. But what was I saying? If you can't find the charger, you can't navigate to it. But in my motorway range test, this car did achieve its peak charging speed of 80 kilowatts after a few hours on the road. We've now been on the road for almost 3 hours, so I'm pretty sure that we're gonna make it. And we've had dry weather, only damp roads until now, but suddenly it started to rain. And yeah, if I put the pedal to the floor now, we cannot go faster than 90 kilometers an hour. So yeah, that is the first sign that we are low on battery, and it's interesting to see how this car behaves. So at 5%, 11 kilometers of range left, you're gonna get turtle mode, and well, we're increasing a little bit in speed now, but it's because we were going a little bit uphill. So yeah, hopefully we'll make it to the charger and fill up there. But this weather, oh my God. I'm now going pedal to the metal. It's flat here. We had a slight incline just, a few meters back, but we're not able to go quicker than, 82, 83 kilometers an hour. We have 2 kilometers of range left and 1.8 kilometers till our destination. You can see here on the map, it's our exit right over here. So yeah, we are gonna make it, but guys, I would not recommend driving the Kia Niro EV on the motorway with less than even 10% stated charge because it's gonna go slow. We made it to the charger with 1 kilometer of range left, and we were able to go 294 kilometers on this charge. So 20.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers is our average consumption. So let's just hop into the EV menu here. And I don't understand why they don't have the battery percentage in the driver's display, but we are at 0% stated charge. So let's hop out, connect to the charger, and see what kind of charging speed we do get. This is a very nice charging location. They have 6 of these Camp Power chargers here that can deliver 150 kilowatts each. You can see 4 here and then 2 behind me. And as you guys can see, we are now at 3% stated charge. We started at 0, and we're actually getting 84 kilowatts of peak charging speed. That is, well, the peak of this car. I haven't gotten any more than that, and according to what I could find online, it should actually be 80 kilowatts. And as you guys can see here from the vacancy, well, there were 2 cars charging from before. We had that MG Marvel over there, and then we had another MG Marvel over here. So that is kind of interesting. So we're now 3 cars, 50% occupancy here. This is a Saturday, about 3 o'clock now. So people are shopping, but they have, this Max Burger location behind me where people are eating. They also have the IKEA right up here. And then they have a oops big over here. So yeah, this should indicate a pretty, busy day. But it's raining now. I'm gonna hop in the car and let's monitor the charging a little bit on this charging section to see, well, when the speed starts to drop off. At around 18%, we could see the car starting to throttle a little bit. We actually had 80, even 85 kilowatts up until like 17, 18%, but now we're down to 64, 63, and it's probably just gonna get a bit slower and slower as we climb in the percentage. So I think we're gonna go to 60% state of charge now, disconnect, and then get on the road, drive down to Kristiansand to our turnaround point, and then start heading back towards Oslo. And then some point along the way, trying to hit the next charging station with around 10, maybe even as little as 5%, but we're not gonna go close to 0% because we just don't have any power on the motorway when we do that. And then do another charging session to 60%. I think that's the way to go. 2 charging sessions, 60% each, so I have no idea how long this is gonna take, but it says 43 minutes to 80. So hopefully it's gonna take less than half an hour to go to 60, crossing my fingers. We are now in Kristiansand and it's 5 minutes past 4 and it's not pitch black yet outside. So that means the days are getting a little bit longer as every day because we are now moving towards lighter or longer days because we are past that winter solstice. But okay, we're gonna take a left in this roundabout here. We're gonna go into the intersection right next to the train station and then do a U-turn and then head back towards Oslo. So according to the car, we have done 307.4 kilometers. We've also been on the road for 3 hours and 11 minutes. That's minus that charging stop we just had, and average consumption 20.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But it has started to rain outside now. Maybe that's only local here in Kristiansand. Maybe we'll have rain for the rest of the day. I don't know. It didn't start to rain before we got down here to the south of Norway. But I think we're going to be able to go to Rugtvedt, to another recharge charger up there. Because again, this car only does 85 kilowatts. Those are 150 kilowatt chargers. Should be plenty enough. But what's interesting is that we went to 65% now. And yes, the speed has started to drop at around 20%, but basically we were at like 60, 65 kilowatts up until, we disconnected. So charging, I don't know, past 50, past 60 in this car doesn't seem to be much of a penalty. And that's why I could charge a little more than 60%, even though optimally I wanted to go to 60, but maybe that means on the next charging session we can charge a little bit less, maybe only go to 55%. But okay, we are now on our way back to the motorway now, and I'll catch up with you guys at our next charging stop, probably at the recharge chargers in Rugtvedt. So the plan was to go to the recharge chargers in Rugtvedt by the McDonald's, but suddenly we just got this terrible weather. Now it's snow, it's slush, we have had crazy rain. So we're going to have to just top up a little bit, just a little, because, I actually planned for having a buffer about 10, 20 kilometers to go to the station, but the consumption just crazy went up. So there are only 50 kilowatt chargers up here on this station. So we're just gonna top up a little bit, maybe only 5%. But I'm gonna show you guys just in a second. We're just gonna do just gonna turn right in here. And yes, there is one. Look at this, they even have, look at this, old 50 kilowatt recharge charger that is labeled Fortum. Yeah, that is funny. They used to be owned by Fortum and then they were bought by a different company. But okay, this is our overall consumption on the trim, 21.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But look at this, 23.5 is the last 126 kilometers. And for the past, 40, it went up from like 21.5 to 23.5. So yeah, we're just gonna top up a little bit. I'm just gonna show you quickly, guys, that the battery percentage here, we are at, let's see, come on, We are at 19%. So we'll go to 25%, add that to the time, and I'll see you at the next charging session, which is our proper charging session. We are now at our third and hopefully last charging stop of the day, which was supposed to be our second charging stop here at the Recharge Chargers next to the McDonald's in Rugtvedt. And we're connected to a 150 kilowatt charger here, and at 10%, we're actually getting 80 kilowatts, which is full speed, so there's no limitations from the battery pack, even though the car wasn't even able to find these recharge chargers, this McDonald's, or this place called Rugtvedt, or the larger area called Bamble. I don't know what it is about this navigation system, but it is terrible. This has to be the worst navigation system in any car I've driven in recent history. So I don't know why they don't update that and make it better. This being a brand new model now in 2023, I have no understanding of it. It doesn't even show you the percentage you're going to arrive with when you're navigating to a charger. It's just terrible, but more about that in my review, which will be the next video. But okay, guys, so we're getting decent charging speed here. And I don't, again, want to charge too little, but the conditions now, I think, are a little bit better. So maybe 60, maybe even 65%. In worst case, go to 70% state the charge. But that means this is another probably 30 to 40 minute charging stop. We are now back at our starting point or our end point. We're back at the Esso station at the Recharge Chargers where we started the video earlier today. And guys, before I give you guys the numbers, the stats, and the total charging time for the 610 kilometer trip, I just want to give a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Recharge. We're actually charging at the Recharge station now, and we've actually only used Recharge Chargers today, and not only because they are sponsoring this video, because I'm free to use other chargers in their sponsored videos, but it just, was the natural and the most logical place to stop today, eking out most range out of this car. And they have chargers everywhere, and that is because they are the largest provider of lightning, rapid, and fast charging in the Nordic countries, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So they have chargers everywhere. So if you want to support the channel, go to the link down below and just find out where your closest Recharge charger is. And now for the results. So at our last charging stop, I charged to 60%, and I calculated that would be enough to get us back here with a small margin, a small buffer. But once I got on the road, the bad weather continued, and it was looking bad for a while. And I was really thinking, do I have to make a fourth charging stop, just a brief one? But I was like, oh, come on, let's do this. Let's push this car. And I was able to get here without charging, but I arrived here with 1% stated charge left and 1 kilometer of range left. So again, I don't recommend it, but we were able to get here, and average consumption during the whole trip actually started to drop once we're about 45 minutes an hour from here, and average consumption ended at 22.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which actually isn't bad considering all of the bad conditions we've had today. But okay, guys, you are here because you want to know, out of all the 3 charging stops, how long time did we spend charging today, and how good does this car perform in the chart with other cars? So over the 610 kilometer route, the Kia Niro EV charged for 84 minutes, so an hour and 24 minutes. And that puts it, if you look at the chart, right behind the Kia e-Soul we tested, was that last year or in 2021? But the conditions were better when we did that test. So, I mean, this isn't a long trip car. It's not a long trip car. I'm going to cover this in detail in my review, which will probably be the next video or the next video after that. I have a few videos that have to go out, but the next video I have about this car is going to be the review. And there are a lot of things I like about this car, a few things I don't like. The navigation system I've demonstrated today. And also, this isn't a primary choice if you want to go on a lot of long trips. I think there are better cars looking at the chart down below. But still, it's a okay car on a trip. My only complaint is that it's quite noisy. You have quite a lot of road noise. And these seats, though comfortable for maybe like half an hour or 20 minutes, once you get past that 1 hour mark, they're not comfortable. I mean, I find myself having to, move around in the seat and taking breaks like I don't have to do in other EVs. But yeah, more on that in the review. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.